All right, guys, welcome back for another episode of the A Better Me Equals a Better We podcast. I am your host, Trey. So excited to see you guys. Thank you for viewing yet another episode. We are now on episode 15. This episode's title is Cancel Culture. All right, so just the idea that a group of people, one particular person, can cancel a particular part of a culture, a holiday, just all of those different things, right? Just going through that. And I'm just so excited because not only are we live on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, we're actually live on Twitch as well, and we're tapping into a new audience. So excited to have this conversation with you guys, and I brought in three panelists to talk about this with you guys, and I'll allow my panelists to introduce themselves. So, um, Dre, why don't you introduce yourself for our viewers and tell them a little bit about yourself? We can't hear you, Dre.
They want to talk over you. Am I unmuted now?
Yeah, you good.
Okay, sorry about that. Dre, uh, not much about me. Regular person.
All right.
I'm
It's
stuck right
Dre.
now, but
Right. So, Nikki, why don't you introduce yourself to our viewers? Tell them a little
I'm
bit
just
about
Dre.
yourself.
I am Nikki. Um, I am Nikki. I am a full-time mom, full-time job, full-time sister, full-time aunt. No, I'm just joking. And I am a person, somebody. So this is a good topic for me. What else can I? Yeah, I'm just full-time and I'm just happy to be here. Like, this is my second time I'm here. First time I was a little nervous. Now we just like, let's go. Let's get with it. I'm excited.
Nice. And last but definitely not least, Rashida or La, excuse me, why don't you introduce yourself for our viewers and tell them a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so I'm La. I work for investment banking, and I am a world traveler. And I don't know, Trey. This is awkward.
Hey, listen.
And I'm one person also that will cancel. Well, I don't know. It depends on the situation. We can't. I have a lot of mixed views about that, but it just depends.
Right, we're gonna get into it, right? Let's jump right into it, right? Before we jump into the conversation, La did mention something that I want to go over with you guys and make sure I tell you guys about. So La is a world traveler, and she actually documents this online. She has a YouTube channel. So if you guys want to follow La and her experiences and her traveling and what she does and where she goes, we'll definitely drop that link in the chat so you guys can go and subscribe and watch her traveling adventures. So, talking about cancel culture, right? Like Nikki and La said, we live in a culture where, like Nikki and La said, I'll cancel somebody. Like, you know what? I'll cancel. We just gonna shut the whole thing down, right? And sometimes in some instances, it's good, it's healthy. But in other instances, it may not be too good or too healthy, right? So what I wanted to do is actually start from the beginning, right? Usually with a lot of the topics I do, I like to start from like the beginning of it, the beginning of maybe the issue or whatever the topic is, right? So Nikki, I'll start with you and ask you this question. Where do you believe that cancel culture begins?
Well, honestly, when I hear cancel culture, and just like kind of like, not to take it back to like school history, but cancel culture, I think about like blacklisting somebody. How you learn like in like, you know, the blacklist and like certain people were allowed to do something, or it's like, all right, you're blacklisted, like, you're pushed to the side. We don't even want your opinion. Nobody acceptable in this community.
Yeah.
Where blacklisting someone can't work on certain, you're on that blacklist. So when I think of cancel or just canceling like anybody, it's like blacklist now,
Right, right. You on that blacklist, and
That's
I remember even with like
the way I correlated
with like the early cell phones, they had this thing where they didn't have the block list, they had the blacklist, right? Like that, whoever was on your blacklist, I mean, they couldn't get through to you. They couldn't get you couldn't get no phone calls from them and stuff like that. So definitely, and when we look at like the beginning of it or whatever, Lashida, what do you think are some of the causes of this cancel culture that we now live in?
I feel like it's abundance of things, because you'll have someone that would really cancel a culture because maybe a previous experience, or they can relate to it in a way whereas that they may feel offended. But then you have a lot of times social media, people just follow to follow and will cancel a culture not knowing what the death is, what the person really mean behind it, and just cancel it because one person canceling, all right, we all cancel it. Like, don't get me wrong, for some things that is good when you're standing with your people, but certain things is like, what are you canceling for? It's like you have to sit back like, well, what am I canceling this person for? Like, yes, it's like, even if you want to stand by your people, right? I feel like never just do something but just because like they're doing it. Also have a reason, like, you know what? Even if you say this is this offends them, and I'm going to stand with my people versus I'm just going to do it because they're doing it. Like, have a meaning behind it. But I think social media plays a lot with it, and then the way people are like grow up as well play a lot with it.
Definitely. And I really like what you said, like when you said like have some substance behind it, right? Not like, okay, everybody's doing it, so we all got to cancel it. And we see that now with celebrities, even holidays. One of the things most recently was July 4th, right? Everybody's like, we don't celebrate July 4th no more. Like, if you celebrate the 4th of July or Independence Day, you're not Black, right? Like that's the new thing now. But in all actuality, if we look at it historically, we never really had the amount of time off that we do now. So many people get so much time off from their jobs than they did in recent years, or even in the sense of people being entrepreneurs. So you have more time on your hands to do things and go places. Once upon a time, even if I didn't get an Easter bunny for Easter, I got new clothes for Easter because that was a day that my parents had off. So we celebrated it, right? And I think it's the same thing when we look at certain things like July 4th, right? I don't ever remember my family celebrating Independence Day per se, but we definitely celebrated the 4th of July because it was a day off and we had the opportunity to come together as a family and do something together, right? So I definitely agree with you.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So it was something fun for us to do together. So I definitely understand what you mean when you say, like, don't do it because everybody else is doing it. Do it, because you believe in whatever it is that you're doing, right? And I'd like to know what you guys think, whether it's about July 4th or any other holiday or thing or person that people are canceling, right? Like, are we doing it because the mass amount of people are saying it, or are we doing it because we really believe in that, right? And Andre, I'll ask you this question. Do you think that cancel culture is a good or a bad thing?
I would honestly say that I feel like cancel culture is, I don't want to say 100% bad, but it mostly is. Like, when it comes to cancel culture, I feel like at some points people do have points of views that do make sense, but when we want to cancel people based on what are they saying is another way of us saying, let's take away people's free speech, and we're applauding that by the media. At the end of the day, we can disagree with somebody 1,000%, but are we telling people what to say now? And if it's not what we like, let's get rid of them.
Right. Definitely. Right. Like, so now if you don't agree, if you're not with what we're saying, then now you're out. Right. So I can definitely see where, like, what you mean in the sense of how it could be a bad thing. Right. Lashida, I'll go back to you and ask you this question. Do you think that cancel culture, or does cancel culture happen on a small scale, right? I know we talked about canceling like holidays and different people, but do you think that it happens on a small scale at all, like maybe at home, in school, in your neighborhood, like stuff like that?
Definitely. Because I mean, I know with my school when I went to high school, it was like the black kids sat with the black kids, Spanish kids sat with the Spanish kids. And then there will be a sense of if maybe the black kid wanted to sit with the Spanish kid that day, maybe they, like their music, whatever. It's like the black kids got upset. Matter of fact, let me use a better one. Let me tell you about my college experience. I went to Utica College for I started my freshman year, and I got canceled by the black kids up there because I feel like I'm not a clique person, and not only that, coming from a multicultural, multiverse background, other cultures, like my family is different. They like a beautiful rainbow, whatever. So I don't, the way I see things may not be the way everyone else sees things. So I'll hang out with the white kids, the Spanish kids. I don't care. The geeks, the nerds, the goths. So a lot of times I got canceled because someone made the comment, and the reason why, and it's like, it's so weird how they canceled me and not the person. Someone just made a very ignorant comment, and it was like, I was in like the white crowd, and I checked it. However, the black people canceled me because that comment was made as if I said it. So it do happen, and like a lot of people don't have reasons to do it. Like it was no reason for them to cancel me. The other people, yeah, they should have canceled, but I got canceled for something that I didn't say. I defended them. So yeah, I feel like a lot of times it do happen, and it also happens a lot realistically with our own people, and that's the topic. That's something that no one wants to touch. Like it definitely happens a lot with our own culture because we're so quick to like go like tell each other opposite, like, oh no, blah blah blah. So that experience made me really like look at like my own culture, like wow, like you guys are just gonna cancel me over what? Like I didn't do nothing. So it made me feel like, well, y'all clearly like y'all don't got my back, and so it's like
Right, definitely, and we do see that, right? Like even in, and I like the scenario that you use as far as school, right? Like you can be in school and maybe express a view that may not be what the majority of the people in your vicinity believes in, and now all of a sudden you find yourself on the outskirts of your whole neighborhood, your whole ethnic group. So Nikki, do you think that cancel culture belongs just to one particular culture? Like, is there one culture that's like really doing majority of the canceling, or does it belong to maybe a specific like ethnic group, like that's doing like all the canceling?
Answer your question. I don't think that it's like one culture or one ethnic group, because like piggyback off of what Alishita said, yeah, like she agreed with this, and so the people the black people were just kind of like, all right, we're gonna take your black card. Like she didn't know how to play spades, like let me take your black card. But that there are certain things that in other ethnic groups that if somebody don't agree, like if I even think that it was the opposite way, like if it was a white girl around so I do think that it can be looking like, oh, you're going to take her side, like, so it's just us. I do think I can't even say if we're quicker because I'm not really around, so I can't say if they do more or we don't. Like, I grew up in Brooklyn, so majority is black, Hispanic, we're not already no more, but the majority I would say we like, oh nah, you did that, Alan, like, or it's just to be unacceptable to people for doing like then either something everybody don't agree about. Okay, everybody is you not doing that, are you lame, canceled, like, oh, or you unacceptable, or let's avoid her because if we're gonna do what we want to do and we're around her, she gonna judge us, she gonna this. So people are quick to cancel. Do I think it belongs to one ethnic group, but not set or one culture? No, but say who do it more. I feel like everybody do it honestly because. I can't speak for those other groups, like if they do or if I know. I could say we as a people, I don't cancel people you don't want to do this and we just cancel, like those kind of things. But you know, like speaking earlier on social media, it's just like, oh, you grew up with Bill Cosby and he canceled now. Like everybody like, oh, he canceled Bill Cosby and nobody watching the show, nobody want to eat Jello no more. Like, you know, we're not doing that no more. It's just kind of like
yeah.
Speak for my group, we will definitely cancel somebody in the Michael Jackson, and you know he a legend. Like, oh no, cancel him. So
yeah, definitely. And you know, so it's crazy that you brought up Bill Cosby, right? Because I noticed the same thing with R. Kelly. Like I remember at one point it was like, oh, y'all still listening to R. Kelly at the barbecue?
Oh, yeah.
Like, nah, we can't listen to him, right? There was people saying we couldn't listen to R. Kelly. Like, that's crazy.
So, nobody want to study in the name of love no more.
That's an example. I'm so glad you said R. Kelly, Trey, because that's an example of with people. Why are you really canceled? Are you really canceled because social media? Because a lot of you already knew what type of man he was growing up. Our parents, like, you know, they knew what type of peeing on girls. So now that our generation is more of we have a mouth, but we like, oh no, we're just not going to accept certain things. Now it's everyone wants to cancel, but at the same time, as a lot of these adults have been listening to him, they knew what type of person he was because it's not his first, third, fifth rodeo. Like he's been in the news outlet about this stuff all the time. But now where our culture is more like no, blah blah blah, is more woke to the cause, and like, but then now the whole world wants to cancel him, and it's just like, so that's why I said like now everyone's following social media because it's like, where was this cancel culture when y'all knew he was pissing on girls when it first happened? There was no cancel culture. But now that since our generation have a big platform on social media, now they're like, now everyone's like, oh my God, yes, let's cancel R. Kelly now, blah, blah, blah. Like, then it's like, where was this energy when, okay, cool.
Where was this energy in 96, right?
Right.
So
when you was making
what he was doing.
Right. So
right.
I'm happy you brought up social media, right? Like social media and just the media in general, right? Because that's really like the next subtopic that I really wanted to go to, right? Because I think that for me, social media, and at one point it used to just be the media, like whatever the TVs push, the commercials, things of that sort. Like it really just used to be the media. But now with social media, and we have the opportunity to create our own narratives, we see a different or we see different types of agendas being pushed, right? So Nikki, I'll ask you this question. How do you think that social media has affected cancel culture?
Social media is the definition of cancel culture at this day. Like honestly, when you think about it, like sometimes most of the stories that I'm hearing or why somebody is canceled, like I don't figure that out on the news. I see it on the Shade Room, you know. So social media thing, like with all the stories that you hear and everything that's going on, like, oh well, you know, person did this, or you know, Tory. All right, we're not gonna speak about that, but you know, like that kind of stuff like this happened, cancel them. Like, I don't care how you cancel these people. And most of the cancel culture today, it doesn't come from the news, from the media. Everything that's being canceled on cancel day, social media play like a major part of that. Like they're actually like the foundation part of canceling culture. It's an effect thing too. Like it's just like this person said this, we're going to do this. Oh, the Shade Room said this, we're going to do this. So I really do media when it comes to cancer. It's like, it's the fire. Like, it's like the oil. We like putting it on, but social media give it away. No, I'm not doing this no more. Like, I didn't even listen to albums because of social media, but it was just like, nah, I'm a ride for Meg, but influence. And we don't even realize that I have one because I wasn't in the car. I don't know what happened. It's just like, oh,
right,
he being canceled because of this. And sometimes we it's not, but me just thinking like a black woman, I'm gonna stand up for my black queen. And you know, nowadays it's all about black. I mean, they both black, but it is a social media thing, and I think it have a big effect and big act on canceling culture.
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely agree with that. And you brought up some really good points, like the Shade Room, right? one of those other platforms would be like Baller Alert, right? Where they'll post different things and then ask the question like, what do you guys think about this, roomies, and everybody give their opinion, and what it seems like almost like whatever the majority opinion is, that's where everybody pretty much goes, right? So Andre, who would you say makes the rules on who gets canceled and what doesn't get canceled?
To me, it always depends on the situation, and like to go a little bit more on like what Nikki said too is like you say like you don't know who does what and everything, but look at the division that we put in our own groups where they say Black Twitter and then say the other half of social media. So I feel like, say the question one more time because I was about to go way off topic.
No, go ahead. Go way off topic. So the question was, who do you think, makes the rules of saying what gets canceled and what doesn't get canceled?
And that's what I was saying. It always depends on the situation or who get canceled. Like pretty much depending on the situation. Is because I was actually looking at a story not that long ago, and I think it was in one of J. Cole's songs that he had said something, and it was like the slightest thing, and he's like, yeah, something about tone. And us as Black people, we would have took it different, like, oh yeah, the shade of the tone, but then anybody else is like, oh, why he's only talking about one Pacific side, and then you see the other half of social media, but then Black Twitter is like, I think I was reaching a little bit too far for that. So it's a division on it depending on the situation.
Yeah, definitely. And
I wanted to,
go ahead, Nikki.
I can. I just wanted to say something off of like one on like who is the responsible for who gets canceled. Honestly, because I feel like social media plays such a big part, I really do feel like you see how like somebody could say, oh, social media, like there's other blogs big as social media. I mean, as and like this and that. So they can probably say this and they could say that. Everybody following Blerd and like those kind of things. So I do think too, like what Andre was saying, like there is a difference with certain things, but it is a big difference as far as how big your platform is on social media. Social media plays such a big part. So who chooses? I mean, people could go. It could be like, you know what? I can choose because some things and some people that are canceled, I don't cancel everybody because social media, and I'm not going to lie, social media does play a big part because sometimes when I see like a topic or I see, the first thing I do is go to the comments because I'm like, what everybody talk about? Like, because sometimes I don't even understand it. So I'm kind of like, scrolling down, looking, but whoever have like the biggest platform, they have effect on canceling culture because if somebody as small as like a rapper that got a song like Dream Doll, like she got a little song, she got whatever, she could say this, but in Cardi B, she got more of a fan base. More people are following her, more people than that. Of course, look at it, then there's younger people that they don't have their nowadays. Like nobody's saying like, okay, well, I feel this way. It's like, well, Cardi said this and Nicki said this. So they like going back and forth. So I just really is social media platform. Whoever has the most followers, let's put
Trick Daddy is a prime example.
Oh, God.
Oh, I'm sorry to say that. Like that's a prime example when it's all about like what you're saying on what platform is that the man gave his honest opinion. Like even though we all know it's wrong. Oh, Beyonce can't sing. Now you see how the Beehive swore on him in 0.2 seconds. Like
who said that?
Yeah. Oh no. So this is what happened, right? So he gave an opinion on Beyonce singing, right? And Trick Daddy, to shorten the long story, and he basically said that he didn't really feel like she could sing like that. And when I tell you, all of the Beyonce fans, they went on like Yelp, Google, and was giving his restaurant like 1-star reviews. Like his restaurant went to like a 2-star restaurant because of all their comments and reviews, just because he gave his opinion concerning a singer, right? Which we're all entitled to. And it's just so crazy how, like you said, like we can look into these comments, see who has the biggest following, and then majority of people will kind of run in that direction and do that rather than do whatever it is they might feel, right? So how important is it that like the individuals that are watching this stuff or taking this stuff in, they have an understanding, and I think everybody that even in the comments, I think y'all all gonna agree with this. How important is it that we each understand that social media is its own world?
It's very important because social media, it's sad to say, but it's ruling the world right now. I feel like, for example, with my YouTube, I have to be on social media and stuff like that. But it's a lot of things I'm not. Like, for example, bringing back to the Beyonce thing, people don't understand how powerful. A lot of people probably really do feel like Beyonce can't sing, but she's a great performer. So they went hard on him. And it's like, now you know she can't. Y'all say all the time, Carrie Hilton is better than her and Aaliyah is better than her. But now when someone else says, like when Trick Daddy says that it's canceled, social media, I feel like this is why I don't comment on the Shade Room, because they got one time to post me and go viral. Like they post like all day for you to go viral and post you, and I feel like my own family might cancel me if I get posted on the Shade Room. Like it's like, and like Nikki said, it's right. A lot of times it's you cancel people and people don't understand the powerful social media, because it's like, now me and Nikki could like Tory Lanez music, but we're around people that's going so hard, so now it makes us uncomfortable, and it makes that prejudgment. I was like, no one wants to feel like that. It's like, listen, it's like in the world we have it now, no one's entitled to have their own views. You have to have that person view and that person view. And with social media, it's like, I feel like if you're not canceling a person because it like really affects you or the situation affects you, then it's like, why are you canceling? Because my thing is, you guys gonna do that, right? But I feel like, let's bring it back to Beyonce. Y'all did that because of social media. Had y'all family member with the restaurant said Beyonce can't sing, y'all not going to report them. Y'all not reporting your friends. Y'all not about to get into a fight in the mall because someone said Beyonce can't sing. I might get into an argument, but you guys are not. You're not going the extreme that you're doing. But on social media, people go the extreme. Like that's why I always said, I want to be financially stable in life, but I don't ever want to be famous, because it's like everywhere you go in the media, you do something wrong, you're canceled. Like I know at one point, I don't know if you guys remember with the Kendall Jenner situation with the Pepsi. Part of me did want to cancel her. So basically, the commercial was saying with all the violence with Black people and everything going on, all it took was a sip of Pepsi to clear it off. So basically, minimizing everything that Black people went through. So I'm not gonna lie. Part of me, majority of me wanted to cancel her, because yes, it was a script and she didn't, and they had her do it. But at the end of the day, you sold your soul for that. Like you paid that $1, you got that $1 for that, and you have to read the script because you have to know where to walk, right?
Right.
You have to know your angle. So it's like all day when she was crying, I would never do that to anybody, but you had to read it. Like, so you're telling me you just walked on and just sipped like what's the name? And it's like social. That's one thing at social media. That's one type of cancel that I accepted from social media, because it's like you did minimize what Black people was going through. Whether you thought that you was whatever, but every $1 is not a good $1. Like
yeah.
And you posted on social media, and that was embarrassing for the coach. That's also embarrassing to your nieces and nephews that are half Black.
Right.
So it's like when that was cancel culture, I respected that, because it's like that's what she was doing, like crying on social media. Girl, bye. Like,
wait, you said
that's Kendall Jenner. She did like a Kendall.
Nah, Kendall.
Oh, Kendall.
The model sister.
Oh, I was about to say, I didn't even Black. Right.
No. Yeah, but it was just like, you have to know. I feel like if you're gonna cancel culture, know when to cancel it and know when not. So therefore, when you cancel culture on social media, people know when to take it serious. Like another thing I'm gonna bring up, and I'm gonna stop talking because I know I'm probably talking your ear off.
Nah, go ahead.
Everyone so-called canceled Gucci and Virgil, whatever his name is. They so-called canceled Gucci and the Off-White guy, but the moment they put a Black person on the cover, elected a Black person on the board, y'all still wearing Gucci and Off-White. So it's like y'all pick and choose what y'all wanna. Now, y'all pick. Excuse me. Y'all pick and choose what y'all want to do for you. So it makes me feel like y'all don't even take culture cancel serious. Like it's a fucking joke. And this is why, I'm sorry to say this. This is why other cultures do not respect us and take us for a joke because we don't stand on something like that. Gucci should have been canceled. I had a good pair of Gucci sneakers. They're out of here in the garbage. Like just off the strength of that, like, you know, that blackface, like, you know, like, whoa, like whatever. You're not gonna point a black person. Because my thing was, you're gonna appoint that black person before that came out? No. Like, so it's like what was the point of you saying cancel culture? Y'all moms would just been upset with him, tell him to change their rules, whatever, how they run a company, and call it a day.
Yeah.
But no, people took it as far as, oh, they appointed a black person. Oh, it's gonna have more creativity, more division. All that shit's still ugly.
And you know what's so crazy about that though? I'm happy that you said that, because I feel like we live in a society where it's possible that people use the idea of cancel culture and how divided cultures are because of a lot of things that are going on in the world today, right? People use those things to now push agendas where, like you said, maybe a company is losing out on sales because something they said or did. But now let's just put someone from a particular ethnic group or culture in a position of power, and then now we can reinstate what was already canceled, right? And Casey said in our comments, it's crazy. It's all follow the leader, right? And then Dominique also said in our comments, she said, you know, I'm trying to figure out that in a society where everyone's truth is their truth, when is canceling culture right or wrong? When does fact become face today? We need to shut that down, right? So, Nikki, how do we differentiate, like, when is it right, when is it wrong?
Well, honestly, I don't think it's no differentiating. Can I say that word? It's no, because I feel like it's all about opinion. Like, even when Lai was saying, you know, I'm going to do it if I feel this way. Like, I'm not going to do it because everybody else is. So I could still want to wear Gucci or with Tory Lanez allegedly did. So I don't think it's a right time. I really think it's about the person. And I think it's like it's not going to cancel this because my friend canceled it. I'm not like, oh, girl, it's restaurant. I'm not gonna, girl, I didn't. I had the best experience. So I don't really think it's a right or wrong time to cancel things. And I'm gonna cancel it when I want to. Or I'm not gonna talk about this, or I'm not gonna do this when I don't want to do it. So at the right time, like I mean, honestly, if somebody like violate and like do something crazy, then the whole, you know, everybody probably like ex-president of ours. It's like, you know, it's a lot of people that will not agree and will like certain things that he have done. But I don't think it's a right or wrong time because everybody has their own opinion. And if I do have opinion, like, all right, I'm gonna cancel this because I don't want to do this anymore. Or I don't like, am I canceling something that you wouldn't cancel? Like, it's just like, yo, you gonna cancel. Yeah. So it's just kind of like, you know.
Can I figure you off, Nikki?
You know, time to cancel, and it's really all how somebody feels. Like, if you feel this way, I feel that way.
You know what it is too, Nikki? People are scared to have an opinion of their own and think for themselves. They allow social media in the world to structure the way they think. So it's like, but you have people, right? Mm-hmm. You have to look at it, right? You have to call the ace of spades. You got people, look, see how we're talking about cancel culture? You have people that may support Trump, and you may cancel them because they support Trump. So now it's like, there's a difference, right?
Right.
Are you canceling him because, like, me, for example, why I canceled him? I'm gonna be very honest. The first reason why I canceled him is because I did not like that whole border thing. I just felt like that was causing a racial slur. Not saying
been canceled allegedly,
but to me, that bothered me because it's like, you're taking kids away. Kids are missing, dying, getting raped. That bothered me as a man and a father. Like, that's what really like made me. Cause honestly, I didn't know too much about Donald Trump. I grew up knowing that he was a billionaire. Like, I knew his buildings. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I used to want to live in his buildings. Used to want to go to his hotels. But see, I didn't cancel him because I didn't cancel him because social media. I canceled him because it hit a soft spot for me, with kids getting taken away from their family. It's like, because you really have that happening. like here, like, the people, I feel like, yes, like people come to live a better life, and that's anyway. I'm not that's getting off topic, but that's my whole point with people don't have an opinion from themselves. Like you ask a person, why did you get? That's how I love challenging people. Why are you canceling it? Oh, for example, Tory, because he shot Meg. All right, but why did that strike you? And how do you feel about that? Oh, not they won't say nothing. But yeah, you'll meet someone that will be like, listen, as a man, I feel like you shouldn't even have a gun in your woman's facility. Like if you know you're gonna get drunk to do. You get what I'm saying? It's different opinion, but like for someone just saying that, oh, I just canceled because their friends said they're canceled. Me and my friends, we have very different opinions. Like they stand on it, I stand on it. Listen, I could be the only person that agree on something. I'm gonna stand in it. I'm gonna stand in it. Like because it's like it's my person. It affects me personally. A lot of people don't do it because it affects them or whatever. They just do it just because it sounds good, and then they start telling themselves that they start telling themselves that whatever they're saying is real. So they start believing like, yeah, this is why I'm canceling.
Enough people to say it, they start believing it themselves.
Right. Now look at this though. So Trey put in our comments, right? Very simple
honestly,
comment.
I feel like
oh, go ahead, Nat.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know I'll be talking mad low. I'm like, all right.
No, it's all right.
No, I was when she was saying to basically I was just saying basically like what she said when you're doing. I don't know if y'all seen the post like, speaking of Tory Lanez and the whole situation. He wrote on a chalkboard yesterday and it said cancel and then it was crossed out and cancel record because some of y'all canceling him with no reason. Like y'all canceling him just because other people cancel him. His records are still selling, so it's just like the fight. And they canceled Cardi a little while back, and then of course she's still selling this. And when I seen that cancel, and then he crossed it out, and he put cancel records, it's just like people that's canceling just because everybody else is doing it. So he like cancel anybody, so they're not serious. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
Right. Now look, now watch this though. What Trey put in the comments was so rich to me because he put accountability, not cancel. And I think that that's something that we really have to keep in mind, right? It's not to we shouldn't look to say each time something happens, and we also have to remember all of this stuff, and I've seen this in our comments, like a bunch of times, allegedly, right? Like we don't know what happens in different people's lives. The only thing we know is the information that's provided to us. So all of this stuff is alleged. And it's okay to hold someone accountable, right? Now, when we talk about accountability, of course, it would be people that are closer to us, people that we have a personal connection. It's okay to hold people accountable for the things that they do, but to cancel people or to have the idea that someone can be canceled or something can be canceled is just kind of crazy at times, right? Trey also said in our comments is, you don't have to cancel Trump, but you cannot listen to his eternity facts, right? So you don't got to cancel him per se, right? I just don't got to listen to, what it is that he's saying, right? So that is kind of, I guess, canceling in the sense when you remove yourself from a situation. But I think sometimes we put too much on it in the sense that we try to just get an eraser and think that we can erase people from existence. And I think a lot of times the big media, again, can use different things that go on to try to create a narrative. And Andre, I'll ask you this. Do you believe that the media uses the idea or cancel culture as a whole to kind of push certain agendas, right? Like, so let's say if the big media, the big company wants this artist to sell, or maybe this artist to not sell, or this stock to drop, or something like that. Do you believe that they use the idea of cancel culture to kind of push different agendas? And if so, like, how do you think they do it?
Okay,
yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, you was going in and out. So one more time. Internet was.
So do you believe that the media uses cancel culture to push different agendas?
like media, social media, all of it is all connected. It's the bigger agenda of, I can't say, no, it's pretty much to the majority is brainwashing. And it starts off with the social media, and it always escalates to a point of the media to the news, where you see some of these stories that shouldn't even be on the 7 o'clock news talked about, and now it's even bigger from social media, typing on Twitter and Instagram to the 7 o'clock news after the weather, and it always pushes to a certain agenda of where it becomes a money grab for some people. It becomes a bigger platform or a lesser platform for other people. I feel like they know how to work the system.
Definitely. Like bigger companies know how to work the system. They know how to push agendas. And I think that I would really like to see people as a whole get to a point where they start to exercise their own personal opinion. And we actually had a comment, let me see, from Fee in our comments, and she said that some people just jump on bandwagons just to feel like they are a part of something without knowing why. And I think that we see that a lot, not just with cancel culture, but with a lot of things on social media, right? Especially when you see things like different dances that may come out, and some of it is done in fun and in love. But a lot of times you see people just wanting to be a part of something, right? They don't know what they want to be a part of, but they want to be a part of something. And it can be something as negative as cancel culture, right? So I think that once we get from a space where we can get away from social media and understand that social media is not real life, right? So that hole in the money, that money that's to his or her ear, like that's rent money. Like it's not real life, right? Like it's not real life. Like those pictures that was posted in Saudi Arabia, even though they was posted 2 months apart, is from the same trip. Like and it's okay. Like you get what I'm saying? Like not all of it is real life. So now when we talk about living in the real world, right? Like what's real? Does anyone really have the authority to cancel somebody, Bob?
Me?
Yeah. Does anyone really have the authority to cancel somebody?
I want to say you have the authority over yourself to cancel them. Like, but you shouldn't persuade someone. Like, that's like if Nikki tells me she doesn't like this type of drink. But I'm like, no, Nikki, like, no, I'm telling you, it's so good. I'm projecting my opinion on her, and that's not fair because she already had her mind up that she doesn't like something or she likes something, whatever. So I feel like that's when the biased opinions come. I said, listen, I feel like no one has authority. I'll tell someone my opinion, and that's just my opinion. You don't have to like my opinion. You don't have to agree with my opinion. We agree, and world. That's why the world is supposed to be unique. We agree to disagree. Some people are gonna like the things that one person likes, some are not. But no one has the authority to cancel anyone for social media. Now you have the authority to cancel over yourself, unless it's like a crazy situation and social media comes together. Like, all right, like unless like a celebrity says like say a Cajun celebrity says like F black people, I'll spit on there. Then it's like, all right, now we know, like that's canceled. Like you right. Like it was like, yeah, now we have the authority to be like cancel, not affecting our culture. Versus whatever is going on in society, like social media. Because at the end of the day, I feel like Trey, honestly, it's all hypocritical to me because it's people forget that people are human and that they have similar situations going on. They cancel Tory Lanez. I'm pretty sure a lot of people on that post. Baby daddy would be beating them up, or a friends be beating them up, and they still with them, and they ain't canceling them. You cancel so many people, and I'm so serious. I'm so serious because it's like you so quick to call out somebody else stuff. It's like, well, what about your situation? You don't cancel that, and it sucks. And that's what gets upset. It's like you just so quick to like let me cancel this, but like you have your homegirl, like you're not telling her to leave him. You're telling her like, oh, maybe it's gonna get better. Like, go to listen, like, oh, you probably told me to stop hitting. That's my whole point, right? Like, so it's like
make it work.
None of us have the authority to cancel anything unless it's something you can cancel it along yourself. And if you feel like your household, you want them to buy a certain thing, you can have your household, like your kids and every kid. Like, if you don't want your kids learning certain things or whatever, you can cancel that for your kids. But for you to put on a platform and try for a social media platform and persuade. Now, if I feel like if I ever became famous, I would literally always say my opinion. However, I'm going to tell people this is my opinion on what I'm saying. You do not have to follow my opinion. You do not have to agree with my opinions. You don't have to like my opinion. Feel how you feel. Do not take whatever I say and be like, I agree with her because she said it. Actually understand what you're agreeing with and disagreeing with. So
Right.
I don't think no one has the authority to cancel.
And that's the thing. I'm happy that you said at the end of all of that, understand what it is that you're doing. Do your own research, right? Like take the time to say, like, listen, this is why I believe in this. Like, yes, I heard what was going on with this particular thing, but I did my own research and I believe in this now, right? And I think that that's really the key. Nikki, how do you feel, right? Like maybe in a situation where a person gets canceled, right? So if you got a friend, and I want to hear y'all replies in the comments. So everybody get ready to answer this question in the comments. If I have a friend and me and my friend have a person that we both know, and my friend cancels this person, do I have to cancel them too?
Wait, so you and my friend canceled them?
Let's say
cancel them. That's what you're asking?
Yeah. So if your best friend cancels somebody, do you have to cancel them too?
What are they canceling them for?
Yeah.
Honestly, relax. My question. Sweet. I feel like if it is other friend is my friend too, then I just get involved. So I'm not canceling. I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna be honest and transparent with you. Is what I do. If this is my best friend that I don't know her friend, they can't party already. Like, so it's just like, girl, it wasn't my friend to begin with. But if this person was my friend, or I'm not gonna cancel my friend. Like, honestly, I don't put myself in those kind of situations. Like, if this is a friend and you're canceling our friend, that's still like, I'm not getting involved. But this is somebody that I don't really know like that, or this is your friend. Like, I didn't know her to be, so I will cancel in that situation. Just feel like it depends on the situation. So if this is our friend and you're canceling our friend, then girl, that's between y'all. You canceling her. But if this was your canceling her, then I'm like, you might, I don't know this girl like that. So I just really do feel like it all depends on the situation. I'm not gonna just cancel my friend. But if I don't know the person, don't like them, I'm not gonna say we don't like them, because it's not a lot of people that I don't like. But what I will say is it really just depends. It just depends on the situation. Like this
right. And I like
canceled
what,
her, so she's canceled.
I like what Erica said in our comments. Not necessarily everyone has their own mind and choices. You may change the way that you rock with the person. You can tell them about themselves, but canceling out completely, not really. So I really like the idea of, have your own mind, right? Like if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do, right? One of the things that I'm very passionate about when it comes to cancel culture is holidays, right? And I know I said this early on in the episode, right? I don't want to get my black card taken because I want to celebrate the 4th of July. I don't celebrate America's independence. I celebrate the 4th of July, right? Let's just get that straight. But then we have the whole, if you're black, you should be celebrating Juneteenth, right? So Andre, do you think that if someone goes against that stigma of this is what the culture is doing, that it's possible for them to kind of get pushed out of their own community?
It's definitely possible, but likely for a lot of people, especially with their own mind, to go along with it. Not saying that it's a bad thing. it shows you how much you're your own person. So at the end of the day, I can agree with some of your aspects on it. I can be like, okay, I'm only celebrating Juneteenth because at the end of the day, we don't celebrate 4th of July. We use it for fireworks and barbecues. But at the end of the day, to still say like as a day, so maybe use like Christmas or something, maybe as a better example of like something we do celebrate, or Easter or something like that. And now people saying, no, let's push this over maybe a religious way. You still got to have your own opinion on something. So at the end of the day, I can agree with you on some aspects. I can listen out to you. If you want me to go somewhere, you got to tell me why. You got to tell me why this is a good idea to jump off this bridge, or why to walk down this street. You give me a valid reason. There's no reason why we can't do this, do that.
Right. I'm with you on that. Lie, you look like you got something to say about that.
Yeah, because I was waiting for that question all night, and I was kind of mad I couldn't get to it the last time. I feel like, honestly,
I was waiting for that one.
Here's my thing. People were saying cancel 4th of July, but like, where was y'all 3 years ago when Juneteenth was around? Yeah, I wasn't saying cancel 4th of July. So now that
nobody even knew what it was.
Exactly. I'm not gonna lie. I learned about Juneteenth a couple years ago, but I didn't really like get in depth in it. Like, but I did do my research on it. So by the time it came around, I understood what Juneteenth was. So there's a lot of people that don't even know what Juneteenth is, and you're saying cancel 4th of July. This been in the calendars for years, and now this year is cancel it. Like, but then it's like. It's just like you're canceling. It's like social media once again. Like, why are you canceling Independence Day? Like, what? I'm not saying like Independence Day, but like, all right. So no, seriously, where were you 2 years ago when Juneteenth? Because it was here 2 years ago. This is not a new holiday. And then you know what's making me more disgusted with this? The fact that I'm sorry to say, and companies that's letting you off for Juneteenth. You know why? Yeah, like I said before, this been around for so long, and now everybody just cares. We're getting like my job by next year is like a federal holiday, but my job I have half dicks. I'm on the markets, but it's like, where was this energy? I mean, don't be wrong. I like the shit. Let me leave early, like, you know. That's one thing that they actually can't ask me to say because I love. But my thing is stuff like that. Like, where was this energy? Yeah, people act like this wasn't around for so long. Now you care because social media and the media outlets and the news, they made it such a big thing now. Now everyone is like, cancel 4th of July and Juneteenth. So it's like, where was all this energy before? We've been around. We've been around for a very long time. Like,
you know what I did? Mm-hmm. Right. I think it is too with this generation and how we are, like, especially with social media being our platform. I feel like now us is and stuff like that. I just feel like we applying mad pressure. I think like it's just pressure. Like we applying it. Like of course, Black bill should have been signed first. Mm-hmm. Crime bill before really whatever, but they just basically trying to keep us, at bay. I do feel like right now we just applying more pressure. So it's like, at the end of the day, y'all got the 4th of July, y'all got Independence Day, but that's not our holiday. We were still slaves when that happened. So, they just looking at Juneteenth now, like, all right, what day that the last the last state was in like all this other stuff. So I think it's just more so of, our generation, like applying more pressure when it comes to Lives Matter, when it comes to holidays, and just being like, oh, pro-Black. But I think that's kind of where it comes from. And girl, I could take that extra day anytime.
But listen,
it's definitely been there because I can remember at first.
Like I was
right, and I can remember at first, like when I knew about it, to print out to teach my son. I'm just like, look, we ain't learning this in school. I can teach you, but let me print out to say. And
I feel
let me print it out so we can, learn, like, this thing, because,
Now watch this. So it's like you said, we live in a generation where, excuse me, guys, we live in a generation where we are now applying pressure, right? And part of the reason why we're applying all this pressure because we live in an age where information is extremely available, right? So the holiday Juneteenth may have been recognized for the past few years, but that date has been that date. Like that date has like what happened on that date has always been around since that date. But now information is so available, it's available to the average person now to know that. I remember when I was younger, like you needed dictionaries. My parents, they had like this really big entertainment center. At the very bottom of the entertainment center, there were like encyclopedias. Like you had to go to a library. You had to go find books. Like there were things like it was so much harder to find information. Now you can find information at a click of a button. So I think that's where a lot of the pressure that's being applied comes from, because now we have the information, and like we all know, like knowledge is power. So now we have this knowledge which we're now using as power, and all of the things that we learned, there are some things that we have to relearn because there was some stuff that was left out, or taught a little differently. So I definitely think that's where a lot of the pressure comes from, that's being applied. But I don't like, for me personally, I don't like the idea that because someone has not bought into Juneteenth, and I'm just using this as an example, but not bought into whatever it is that we're trying to put into place, just don't criticize someone for still partaking in something else. Because now, as much contrary to popular belief, July 4th, not Independence Day, the 4th of July is a part of our culture now, right? It's a part of our culture, whether we like it or not, right? The people who are, radically pro-Black, it's a part of our culture, right? So I think that we have to get to a point where we are able to celebrate people for their individualism and let people be who they want to be within the culture, right? And we have to stop the canceling, hold people accountable, talk to people about different things, educate people, right? If you need to educate your brother, your sister, your friend, educate people, right? Maybe they don't have any idea, what it is or the reason why something is quote unquote being canceled. So put them on, right? So we're at that hour mark. I don't want to because I feel like this conversation can really go on forever. Nikki, do you have anything for our viewers before we head out of here?
Don't be canceling people for other people's reasons. Cancel people. No, I'm just saying. Honestly, just cancel people when you feel the need to cancel someone, not just because everybody around you are canceling. I'm like, let's have our fun and just know that social media is not all. Social media is not like, yeah, be some facts on there, but some people will not watch the news, have cable because they don't care, because they can watch social. Get Xfinity basic channels, and also check on me again. He's my thing 2 to thing 1, my fake twin or whatever. That's it.
All right, great. You got anything for our viewers before we get out of here?
I just say let's put together the same effort in canceling people we do when coming together as a people to bring more awareness to everything we do as a people.
Uplifting them.
Yeah. I'm with that. La,
right.
Do you have anything for the people before we get out of here?
Yeah, have your own opinion. Remember, social media is supposed to be there for fun, like posting your cute photos or whatever. If you see something, don't be so quick to jump on it. Ask yourself, like seriously, ask yourself, why do I feel this way? And whatever you feel, you stand. You could be the only person in the room that feel that. Stand on that, because the person can't change your views. Have your own opinion, have your own voice, because by you doing that, it shows other people they can have their own opinion and own voice, and you move forward from there. Like the world is unique. keep being yourself and look at my YouTube video, guys.
Right. Tell them the name of your channel.
The name of my channel is the Bad Guy Travel Series. My first vlog is Montego Bay, Jamaica, Haywire Weekend. Check it out, guys. I'm actually traveling soon, so stay tuned for another video. Trey, thank you for having me. This was dope. I want to be on another one because I was getting upset over here with some of these questions. I better be on another one. I like these intense things. This is really good. This is what the culture really, really need. They need to have these uncomfortable conversations that no one's willing to have. So this is really good that you're doing this, Trey. Big ups to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. No, seriously, I really appreciate that. That's really the idea behind the podcast, right? In order to strengthen the collective, each individual has to be strengthened and grow, right? So how can we all be strengthened and grow in order to be better than having these uncomfortable conversations, these conversations that we don't typically have with a bunch of people or that we have over the dinner table or in the break room at work, right? So now we bring in those conversations to you guys, right? And also don't forget, I'm really open to what you guys want to talk about, right? So if there's ever something that you guys want to talk about, drop it in the comments, send a DM, like, I want to have these conversations in a comfortable environment, and I want to have it with people that look just like me, right? I don't want to, of course, I wouldn't mind being on the Oprah show. Oprah, if you see this, I'm open to it, right? But I'm saying, right, Oprah, I love it, but it's different when you have it with somebody who looks like you, somebody who comes or who is in where you're at, right? So that's why we try to have these conversations. So thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure that you guys like the Facebook page. Aside from liking the Facebook page, share the video. Somebody needs to see this video because they can't keep canceling the bodega guy. He's gonna mess up your sandwich every time. You can't keep canceling him. He's all you got, right? Exactly. So somebody needs to see this. I'm telling you, right? Like so you got to share this video. Make sure you like the Facebook page. And subscribe on YouTube. Like if for some reason you decide to deactivate your Facebook because you need a social media break or you want to go through a sabbatical or something, you can still go on YouTube and watch all of these videos. So make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Next week's topic. I like telling you guys next week's topic this week. Next week's topic. The title of episode 16 is going to be Back in My Day. Right, so I'm going to have people from different generations, people that grew up in the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. We're going to bring it back for the 99s and the 2000s, right? We're going to bring it back. And I want to hear what it was like. I want to hear what it was like back in your day. Like we're gonna talk about music. We're going to talk about food. We're going to talk about the neighborhood. We're going to talk about different dances, right? I might have somebody on here. We might just have a dance contest, right? We might have somebody doing the WAP. Then we might have somebody Harlem shaking, see what generation got the best dances, right?
Maybe doing the chicken head.
That right, somebody doing the chicken head and we might just do that, right? So
I don't do that.
So Back in My Day next week, Tuesday. Make sure y'all tune in. Thank you again so much. You guys could have been doing anything else. You could have been watching Ratchet TV. But you decided to be here and be a part of this conversation. Thank you again to my panelists. And before we get out of here, don't forget that a better me equals a better we. I'll see you guys next Tuesday so we can talk about Back in My Day.